Hello and welcome back to another episode of Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18, where we are digging into the many critical and practical use cases of AI today. Samir, I'm going to come to you next. You've heard what everybody has said. You shared some really interesting examples and use cases of how you are deploying AI when it comes to your personalization solutions and offerings. There's also, you mentioned looking at your customers and what they are doing and predictive solutions. Talk a little bit more about that. What are some of the use cases that you have, and even in some other areas that you've heard about right now? Anything that you can share on that front?
Yeah, sure. So on the, generative AI is a new kind of hype or reality depending on who you talk to. There are right now it's very early. We are at a POC stage here, but there are three types of families of use cases that we are looking at. The first is the customer-facing use cases. So as an example, can we create a personal financial assistant to every customer who can be, it's not generic advice, it is specific advice to that customer at that point in time, basis their history and their preferences, etc. This can be done now with generative AI, right? So it's like giving a wealth manager to every Indian type of a use case, right? So there are many use cases of this nature on the customer-facing side that we are working on. These are on advisory, on underwriting, on collections, on fraud management, etc.
And so far, how has that sort of worked out? Are you drawing more insights from that and changing up the systems?
Look, it is very early. Two things are very evident. Number one, that the speed of building a new use case has come down dramatically. So many use cases our teams have built in 3 days or 4 days. And these are real working prototypes. You can see that they are genuinely working. Right. Historically, it would have taken us 4, 5, 6 months to do something like this, right? So the speed of this coming live is gone up dramatically. The accuracy or the utility of the use cases has gone up. So I'll give you an example. We conduct an annual hackathon. We call it a bankathon. So basically over a weekend, 150 people come to our office, they just stay overnight, and at the end of it, they'll build a working prototype.
Right.
The prototype that won this year's bankathon basically built a chatbot, leveraging ChatGPT. They just trained the ChatGPT on our public website. No customer specific data, just public data, but our public website, right? And then we already have a chatbot, and they demonstrated asking a few questions to both. And the one that they built in 24 hours was in some cases doing better than the one that was built over many years and so on and so forth.
Many years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So look, now this is POC and so on and so forth. The other thing can do many more things than what this can do. So I'm not claiming that success has been achieved, but the speed at which this is happening and the quality at which this is happening is coming down quite dramatically.
Leandro, you're hearing about how Axis Bank here has been using AI. Can you maybe share a few perhaps examples quickly for us from maybe a global understanding of what is happening, especially in Asia Pacific, because you have so many similarities in the markets here, right? So just what's happening?
Yeah, I'll share one global one. I think everyone knows Formula One.
Yes.
And we love it in Asia because they come to Melbourne, they come to Singapore, and obviously I was in the Melbourne one. It's an amazing race, right? But they, in fact, only have 23 races. And so now they had this amazing show on Netflix, Drive to Survive. They have over 500 million viewers and fans, but only 1% gets to go to a race. So they came to us with this challenge of how do they personalize the experience for the 99% that can't go.
We're not on track.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this is where they really want to engage, and it's a younger demographic, right? This is not, your grandfather now. This is especially younger females in particular, and more globally dispersed. So they wanted to work out how can they find out what races are people interested in, what drivers, what teams they're following, and all the comms now are personalized to the specific driver that you're really interested in. And that has to be across digital, their F1 TV, all of this. And then, of course, they sell merchandise. And now this is where the augmented use cases you talk about come really interesting, because their chatbot is able to deflect so much of the random, I made a mistake on my order, or I need help changing my delivery address, or can you add this? The service agent gets that in, and the chatbot really already deflects a lot of it, but then it also assists. helping create those personalized journeys, so it recommends what's the next thing you should offer this person. This is where customer service becomes customer sales. And so the marketing, sales, service is all blending together to deliver this amazing customer experience. So I think that's what's really exciting. But of course, like I mentioned in the beginning, what we deliver for F1, we can't really pick up and deliver to the next company, which is why that trust layer is so important.
Murthy, I'm going to give you sort of the last word. You've heard everyone. Just tell us your closing thoughts.
Cases that I'm envisioning, because of the industry I come from, is this whole digital currency. Can you imagine that we can live in a world where it's not about anytime money, but just in time money, which means there is no currency notes, there are no coins. The entire thing is digital, and UPI has already given us that sort of telescopic thing. And from here, the project is already on. I mean, there is a whole thing happening with a cluster of banks. And that is the kind of world that we'll live in. Now, when you do something like this, you will have AI not only enhancing your customer experience, but also protecting the sovereign of your country. The money can be transferred into other parts of the world. And just imagine, and all of this right now in India, when we are poised to be the third largest and the most powerful economy. So I think we are living in absolutely exciting times. But I would still insist that the human should not take his eye off the ball and use technology as a leverage for efficiency.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll end the conversation on that note. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. It was lovely chatting with you. And of course, augmented intelligence, perhaps we should start looking at it that way. Thank you so much again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Peace of mind. It's what we seek in our